Hello everyone and now welcome. Welcome to a game. This is going to be a game between Fortitude, also known as Romantic, going up against Michael. Michael spawning as, the yellow undead over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Do you have the no smoking cup map pool I've sent, Crota? I thought I did. Maybe it's in the wrong location. I can try and see if it's saved in the right spot even if I have the right map pool. Sometimes people unzip it in different locations, and therefore it just doesn't always work out. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. Fortitude over here on the top right-hand side of Northern Isle. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom left, Mikkel spawning as the yellow undead. Undead versus human in this 1v1. I'm just trying to think and plan my day a little bit crazy so far. All right, let's go ahead and break things down. Archmage going to go ahead and get trained up here. We are going to be looking at a barracks as well. So Altar of Kings and barracks coming into play. Got a level WarCraft 3 game of 1,000 maps. Yeah, definitely the case. It feels like a lot of the quality of life improvements of NetEase and really make a big difference. And well, they just still aren't implemented for in here. Uh, I don't know. I think part of the reason why I enjoy Warcraft 3 so much more is um, I don't know. There's just something about the nostalgia of playing classic Blizzard games that still look really good and still stand the test of time. I think Brood War and Warcraft 3 have got to be uh, two of the reasons why I didn't do well in school. What in college? No, maybe yeah, Diablo 2 as well. Anyways, let's focus back here on the game. Uh, all right, gonna go ahead after the Death Knight here. Take that down. Now go after the Ogre Warrior. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, Water Elemental easily cleaned up. Archmage sitting at 1.5. Footman gonna be joining out here on the battle. 17 supply compared to 27. Mikkel staying a little bit low in terms of supply, not getting up that second Ziggurat. Gonna be getting up that one Crypt Fiend and perhaps trying to tech to tier 2 here in just a little bit. Meanwhile, back away here, Death Knight with just skeletal minions creeping around the map. One of the benefits, or one of the reasons why, thank you for the follow, why the Death Knight is able to creep out aggressively and still tech to tier 2 so quickly is those skeletal minions. Skeletal minions don't add to the supply count, allowing the undead to only stay at 20 over 20 supply while still having a decent number of workers and still being able to use this time wisely in the opening stages of the game. Meanwhile, however, Fortitude, or Romantic, not quite sure what he wants to be called, does have this opportunity to set up an expansion of his own. Crypt Fiends will be a little bit late. One Crypt Fiend now coming out across the field. Death Knight now sitting at level 2, as we could be looking at a possible expansion attempt, or is it just a bit of a head fake? No, it is an expansion attempt. Currently training up 17 workers, could be getting up even higher, as well as the skeletal minions are quickly making their way in. Deathfoil finishing off peasant number 1. Another peasant could get taken down, as we're looking at this poor peasant down to 16 hit points and gets denied right there. More battle raging on here as another skeletal minion gets denied again, as more militia now being brought back over. Peasants should be able to set up a town hall right in this location, creating a narrow walkway here, placing one footman here, and then getting up an arcane tower here. Absolutely perfect way to try and defend this expansion location. Meanwhile, Archmage, being left behind just a little bit to take a bit of damage, and here we are. In comes the engagement. There is some blight, as those skeletal minions will enjoy some additional health during this fight here. One peasant down to dead, as the Death Knight continuing, to put down and lay down the pressure here. More peasants getting taken down, but now giving level 3 to that Archmage. All right, at this point, it sometimes feels as though you're just delaying the inevitable, but at the same time, well, you do not want your opponent to be able to set up an expansion completely uncontested. You want them to pay, and it's easier to put pressure onto the opponent's expansion to gain a little bit of experience than to try and, well, creep out any more creep camps with the small skeleton army that the Death Knight currently has. Pun, I guess, intended. All right, the skeleton crew here. All right, Death Knight now pushing through once more. It looks like low hit point peasant may be able to get taken down as the skeletal minions able to catch up once more. Skeletal minions continuing to make their way back over as the Death Knight stays at level 2, but being forced to retreat back. We are going to be going into a Lich already. We are getting up a Slaughterhouse. We should be getting up another Crypt Fiend. And this is the perfect follow-up time for Michael. Michael knows once he gets another Crypt Fiend, an Obsidian statue, and that Lich, he can pretty much creep out the remaining portions of the map with really no problem or effort whatsoever. No skeletal minion, Rod of Necromancy charges, and the Archmage here of Fortitude actually putting pressure on his opponent before he gets level 3 Death Knight. This could be a very big deal as the Crypt Fiend down to 110 hit points, down to 82 hit points. Death Knight unable to fully heal, as we should be looking at the Water Elemental. No, not chasing far enough, as that, well, Crypt Fiend able to get back onto Blight. As the instant this Lich makes its way out onto the battlefield, though, the Archmage really doesn't have any chance to try and chase after, as a quick Frost Nova, Death Coil, and a couple rounds of Focus Fire could be enough. Archmage coming back around with that, well, Sentry Ward catches that Crypt Fiend out of position, gonna get some damage onto that unit there. Wow, stopped mid-attack here as the Death Knight still sits at level 2. Both sides still attacking their way through, as the Death Knight now could be a bit low on hit points. Meanwhile, Footmen are inside the base trying to put some pressure down, perhaps try to shut down this Tomb of Relics, as the Archmage does not have enough mana for another Water Elemental as of yet. Death Knight with a Potion of Greater Healing should have no problem whatsoever. And Fortitude's attack really just fell flat. Not able to put in that much pressure. He was, if he had gotten one Crypt Fiend or perhaps put some damage on the Obsidian statue, it could have gone somewhere. Instead, he's actually retreating back, may end up losing a couple of footmen, and it looks as though, well, Fortitude's army is just all over the place and not really working together. Meanwhile, Mikhail is going to be able to rush on in here. There are 3 towers in position to try and offer a bit of protection. That Arcane Tower as well, causing a little bit of feedback as the Archmage now back on Blight. Is he going to be able to perhaps heal Clarity Potion, get something going in trying to defend this location? Scout Tower down to 190 hit points already, quickly going to get taken down as a new Scout Tower being built instead. Footmen, well, it's just hanging around over here by the tavern as the Archmage is pretty much by himself. Finally, the Footmen are going to make their way back off to the north, and Fortitude is just not leveraging his army nearly enough. What's the point of having a larger army if they are not engaging? And it is, well, Mikhail being the better player in this instance, fighting with his army and engaging with all of his units at the same time. Level 2 on the Death Knight, 1 experience shy from level 3. Meanwhile, the Archmage is just trying to hide with a little bit of Clarity Potion right there. Auto attack onto the Archmage. Archmage losing that Clarity Potion once more as the Footmen, well, looking for something to attack, may try and finally put pressure. Meanwhile, Militia are being called over. All right, Militia being called over here. Massive repairs onto that Arcane Tower. Arcane Tower, well, looking as though it's going to survive here. Meanwhile, the Footmen are going to be diving on in, perhaps trying to put in pressure. No Goblin Sappers, nothing of that nature. Footmen with the Fen, as so Footmen with the Fen inside the Undead main base. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiend's Lich Death Knight sitting outside this base here, and really the Death Knight has not gained any additional experience. No peasants have been lost so far. Death Knight staying at level 2, just focusing down 1 peasant may actually be worth it, as the Arcane Tower now removing so much mana from that Death Knight again. Level 3 and level 2, a double level up, sudden power spike, and all of a sudden the Archmage now in a bit of trouble, being forced to try and retreat back. Arcane Tower now going to go after that Lich. Lich losing the ability to cast Frost Nova here, as this was a big deal indeed. Meanwhile, Footmen are still engaging and fighting here. Massive number of Footmen inside the base here. Acolytes, are they trying to mine what is going on here? An Obsidian statue going to get taken down as the Crypt Fiends still battling up here. This is the war in 2 bases, as the Death Knight sits at level 3, Lich sitting at level 2, both low on mana, but there is a lot of low hit point acolytes just trying to wander around, get a little bit more gold here, and there is not much mining going on. 7890 compared to, so that's about what, a 10-second of 150 gold difference as the units are now finally trying to retreat back. All right, Black Citadel, Staff of Teleportation coming on in, going to teleport in. Archmage could drop a Water Elemental. Footman could have a little bit of problems as the Archmage now says, you know what? I wouldn't leave you guys hanging. Let me get you guys all out of here. And there they go, that tactical retreat. Mountain King sitting at level 1. Scroll of Town Portal back home. Scroll of Regeneration bringing back those footmen once more. A beautiful play by Fortitude or Romantic here. 45 supply now going up against 43. All right, that bit a loss of gold now down to 7750 compared to 7, so about a 200 gold difference plus the retraining of those acolytes. At the same time, though, the Death Knight and the Lich got in a large amount of damage on many of those peasants off to the north. 21 workers for Romantic at this point and stage in the game. He is just now getting his blacksmith, just now going to keep, and he is going into this dual racks strategy that has become popular as of late. Will we be looking at dual workshops as well? Knights and flying machines as the counter, as there's workshop number 1. I don't see workshop number 2 with no arcane sanctum. All right. I've said in the past that the weakest link in the human army have often been the priests. Crypt teams are able to focus them down so incredibly quickly that, and especially with that negative armor, that once those units are gone, well, the rest of the human army starts to fall apart. Well, if you are the weakest link, and well, therefore say goodbye, as the Archmage and the Mountain King, well, gonna try and put pressure onto the main base instead. All right, there is a decent number of towers here. No Scroll of Town Portal to try and teleport back in. There is one healing ward as well, and where are they gonna land? They are landing back off to the north here, looking to engage somehow, as the footmen do have the Fen. All right, healing ward offering plenty of healing. You can see that Crypt Fiend just constantly regenerating those hit points so easily, as the Mountain King now tries to dive on in. Obsidian Statue providing plenty of healing as well, as the healing wards really keeping this army constantly topped off, as the Obsidian Statue doesn't have to work nearly as hard. Massive repairs underway. Arcane Tower now going down onto that Death Knight. Death Knight losing quite a bit of mana. More repairs underway, as the Masonry upgrade was not enough to keep the tower alive. Oh, the level 1 Masonry upgrade not going up to level 2, as the Archmage stays at level 4, trying to still retreat back again. It looks as though the Crypt Fiends will be retreating back. One Destroyer in the air, another Obsidian Statue getting added again. 2 Spirit Towers here, while providing cover for all of those acolytes as they're just trying to mine. Meanwhile, the Archmage ready to drop some water elementals and engage here. No, not quite yet. No knights out onto the battlefield, as we just see a couple of footmen with the Fen trying to reflect back some of that damage. All right, knight number 1 and now getting trained up plenty of gold. Fortitude needs to hold on here, as we are looking at Rain of Fire, and this seems like a repeat of the game we just saw earlier. However, the healing wards really making a big impact here, as we're looking at, well, the healing ward needs to get taken down. There goes the healing ward taken down by that Archmage. All right, Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich, no orb of fire at all to be spotted, so the Death Knight is going to be able to get in plenty of heals. Meanwhile, the flying machines going after some of those units, however, webbed down by those Crypt Fiends. Militia making their way over. One knight just standing in the back rows, asking for orders, and apparently finally realizing, wait, there is a fight going on. I should be doing something about this. All right, more peasants taken out. A lot of heals will be necessary. A new arcane vault perhaps will be rebuilt, and that is the downside. The Arcane Vault becomes a critical structure in this no Arcane Sanctum build. And, well, not having Scrolls of Regeneration and Orb of Fire, Scroll of Town Portal, a bunch of items that Fortitude needs right now, but he knows no longer sitting on that large bank that he had earlier. No Scroll of Regeneration, so this army of units will need to be healed by the Paladin and the Paladin alone. Meanwhile, Mountain King now with the Talisman of Evasion, having a little bit more additional health, as we could be looking at, well, Wand of Illusion onto a couple of Knights here to try and make it look different. All right, there goes, Death Coil for the save. Frost Armor, however, making it difficult to take down more units. Fly Machines taking quite a bit of damage, as well as the, well, Pit Lord changes, getting rotated back out, but never getting storm bolted at all. Pit Lord still looking to engage. It does also have cleave. You can see all of these flying machines are just stuck here on the ground, going to be easily taken out, giving more experience to the Lich, the Death Knight, and that Pit Lord. It looks as though that Lich is just now shy of level 4, opening up Dark Ritual. Michael seems to be in a decent position. 54 supply going up against 65. Army sizes are about the same. As well, we are going to be going into an engagement here. Water Elemental taken down. There's level 4 on that Lich. If that Lich needed to get any more scarier. Lich with a plus 12 damage. Rain of Fire shutting down the mining at the expansion again, as there's only one guard tower right here to try and stop. Knights now leading the charge here. Going to go ahead and back around. And are those Knights going to end up absorbing quite a bit of damage? Paladin, well, absorbing quite a bit of damage here as the Knights are trying to engage, but those are just the illusions, and I believe that, well, Michael must know which ones are, in fact, not real. All right, there goes another quick storm bolt there. Paladin falls at level 1 pretty easily, as we're looking at another Crypt Fiend falling here. All right, Rain of Fire damage adding up. Staff of Sanctuary saves one unit. Mountain King is going to be able to get off another Stormbolt off onto another unit. There's a Death Coil. It's saving that Crypt Fiend right there, as, well, damage is adding back up onto multiple units here. Are the Knights actually going to be able to do anything? It looks as though another Knight going to get taken down. Yes, it does get taken down again, as the Mountain King has not been landing the Stormbolts enough to actually pick off any of those units. All right, low hit point Knight back here. There's a Death Coil for the save. Orb of Fire, perhaps not applied, as that Lich, it looked like it regenerated pretty much full hit points. No debuff there at all. Knight still trying to lead the charge, going after that Crypt Fiend, as the Crypt Fiend now down to 113 hit points. Death Coil giving level 3 to the Mountain King. Level 3 on the Mountain King. Level 2 Stormbolt could change things around. Are we going to see a Staff of Sanctuary again, as those units do need to be saved? And there's a Death Coil. Beautiful save at the last moment there by Fortitude. All right, Death Coil was inbound. Death for that Death Knight was, well, nearly certain. But that Staff of Sanctuary teleporting back home. Such clutch plays. 1-1 upgrades on the Knights so far. 66 supply going up against 56. At this point, Mikkel still is very much in this game. He is setting up his second base now. Meanwhile, Knights going to try and engage, perhaps put in a little bit of pressure. We're going to see a Stormbolt onto that Crypt Fiend. Yeah, Stormbolt, Crypt Fiend, dead Crypt Fiend, as that Crypt Fiend had nowhere to go. Meanwhile, that Pit Lord will be able to get up to level 3. Level 2, well, Rain of Fire could be in order, as the Mountain King looks to Stormbolt another unit. Are they going to be able to catch some of those units off guard once more? Paladin back out onto the battlefield. There's a Holy Light trying to save some of those units. Frost Nova going down. Archmage getting absolutely blasted in a moment, as, well, another Crypt Fiend gets taken down here. Archmage lost, however. Beautiful Staff of Sanctuary again, but is it going to continue to last, as the Paladin now needs to retreat back with all of those units? Archmage, is he getting resurrected back at home? No. Is he getting resurrected at the tavern? It looks like it, as the Archmage is ready for some more action. Holy Light saves the, tops off the Archmage. Could we be getting, well, perhaps a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability onto that Archmage, trying to keep that Archmage alive and well? Potion of Healing on the Paladin. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Mountain King. And where are all of these units heading off to next? No more mining over here on the top left. That has been shut down, and it is now 2 bases to 1, and the main bases only have about 4 minutes or 5 minutes of mining to go. Knights 2-1 upgrades, dancing back and forth. Illusion, well, Death Knight 5-4-3, very scary. Paladin not yet at level 3, unable to offset that Death Coil damage, as the Lich with that Orb of Corruption plus 12 damage and that Focus Fire from those Crypt Fiends could really add up a lot more. In comes Rain of Fire. All of the peasants stop working once more. Units should be trying to engage here. Double or triple Obsidian. Mountain King unable to line up the proper attack, as, well, they're going to go back to work again. Getting underway. 58 supply compared to 70. Michael now not quite sure how to approach this next step. He is setting up an expansion of his own over here on the bottom right. But is it gonna get operational? That is the key question. Paladin looking to get to level 3. I believe he will be just a little bit shy off of this creep camp here, as the Warriors the Warriors not going to be enough. Wanda mana stealing picked up by the Paladin. Perhaps that can steal enough mana from a Death Knight to prevent a decent amount of hit point loss, as the units are going to try and engage here. All right, Knights moseying on through. Where are they going to try and go next? Archmage does have try and engage here. Yes, they are trying to go after all of these units. The expansion may end up being lost though, as there are abominations. Abomination illusions right here. All right, Scroll of Town Portal could try and stop this. Pitlord could get stunned here. Is he going to get stunned? No. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble trying to get surrounded. Units are still trying to make their way back around Archmage. Still back across here as the Abominations are spreading that disease across multiple units. Destroyer is going to town here. There goes one Knight getting taken down as the Rain of Fire going up against his own Abominations, as the Staff of Sanctuary saves a low hit point Knight once again. Archmage continuing to battle it up here. Another destroyer takes on a water elemental, as the damage is just adding up slowly but surely. 65 supply compared to 60. Militia trying to join in on the battle, but I believe Mikhail should have a great spot here. Thanks Ghost for the follow, as we're looking at the Pitlord trying to make its way back down. Deathcoil saving the Abomination. And Mikhail is just playing an amazing game right now. He's been behind for so long in terms of supply, but his hero level advantage is really starting to take hold quite a bit more. We are going into an Arcane Sanctum. Having 2 or 3 priests just seems absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, Romantic Fortitude off here, looking to try and hold on to that expansion as it's nearly mined out. 1 minute left mining here, 3 minutes left mining here, compared to Michael, who still has plenty of mining down here at the 6 o'clock location. Timing may be key, but it doesn't look like Fortitude has a way to shut the door on this game. In fact, it looks like Michael has more opportunities, as we're looking at Fortitude trying to make its way back out. 405 mana on this level 3 Mountain King. Meanwhile, units are now making their way back off to the north. Are we going to look at the Haunted Gold Mine getting shut down here, and then perhaps try and teleport back for a save? That could be a possible combination, as we're looking at there goes the Acolytes. Scroll of Town Portal coming back in. Units are going to try and back away. It looks as though the Town Hall was destroyed, so it is now 1 or 2 bases to 1, flipping the script is Michael, as the units are going to try and engage here. All right, Storebolt found onto that Lich. Lich, a little bit of trouble. Still has plenty of mana. Can get plenty of Frost Nova. Can try and engage here. There's some Frost Nova damage once more, as the Lich needs to reposition again. 67 supply compared to 74. Staff of Sanctuary saving, I believe, a Knight once more, as the Knights are trying to go after those Crypt Fiends, but even with Sundering Blades, having a difficult time because of that Frost Armor. Knights continuing to put in the pressure. 63 supply compared to 68. Pitlord in that frontline spot with Cleave, really still racking up damage, as the Destroyer is being forced to retreat back, as the Flying Machines with those Flak Cannons doing quite a number. Pitlord falls at level 4, as the Mountain King, continuing the chase here. Destroyers now with a decent amount of mana. Flying Machines going to go after some more Knights here, as the Flying Machines should be able to take it down. No, a beautiful Deathcoil save once more, as the Destroyer should try and go after some of those units. Archmage now sitting at level 5. There goes some more Flying Machines constantly getting webbed down out of the fight, as the Knights are now pushing pressure. Michael finally down to 47 supply, no longer in high upkeep. This is not a good spot for him to be in, though, as the units are retreating back. Meanwhile, 1 Water Elemental and 1 Knight cleaning up the remainder of the expansion here, and long distance mining in play for Fortitude, giving Fortitude at least some bit of gold, as he holds on to his hero level, his army size advantage. Hero level advantage still belongs to Michael, or Mikhail, at least for now, but it may not be able to stay that way, as undead, impossible to do any long distance mining. He needs to haunt that gold mine once more. All right, Necropolis taken out. Does Mikhail have enough of an army to try and combat against his opponent here? Scrolls of Healing, the right types of the right types of units, the right types of items. That is all going to be key. Pit Lord trying to get retrained up. It needs about another 20 seconds or so, and that may be all it takes for Fortitude to try and shut the door here. 66 supply compared to 49. But while the Pit Lord is still trying to get trained up here, Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight standing around in an absolute daze as the flying machines are trying to find those destroyers. Destroyers is in the back line position. Is it going to get taken down? Yes, it does. Crypt Fiends, however, many of them are able to web down many, and a beautiful Staff of Sanctuary saving the Archmage there. All right, Death Knight down to 90 hit points. Death Knight gets taken down. Paladin now sitting at level 4. Pit Lord now back out onto the battlefield. Level 5 Death Knight falls as Crypt Fiends are starting to fall as well. 36 supply compared to 61, and it looks like Fortitude is going to be able to hold on and finish this game here, even with a number of low hit point units. Mikhail just doesn't have enough, even with home field advantage, to fight back here. Lich is going to be in trouble unless there's some brilliant rain of fires. No, there is not. Fortitude taking the game in an impressive fashion. The resource score being the main difference, allowing for and then translating into a larger army throughout, and then the eventual win. Hope you guys learned something. Try and emulate these players, and well, if not, come back and watch more Warcraft 3. Thanks, everyone.